Valentine's Day is just around the corner, and nothing says love like the warmth and comfort of a Miki Couture blanket. Whether it's for your sweetheart, your best friend, or even yourself, Miki Couture has the perfect gift to make hearts melt. From luxurious textures to stylish designs, Miki Couture blankets are the ultimate way to show you care. Plus, now through Valentine's Day, enjoy exclusive savings on our limited edition Valentine's collection. Visit any of our stores or shop online at www.mikicouture.com and give the gift of love, comfort, and warmth this Valentine's Day. Miki Couture, blanketing the world in warmth and love.
Welcome to the Season of Self-Love podcast. I am your host, Nyomi Banks, and I am thrilled to have you join me on this transformative journey. You see, every day we dive into a powerful conversation about self-discovery, healing, and empowerment. This podcast is brought to you by Ask Nyomi and Elevate Me Self-Discovery, where we believe that loving yourself is the first step to living a fulfilling life. You can expect insightful discussions, practical tips, and inspiring stories. Plus, we'll occasionally welcome special guests who will share their unique perspectives on self-love and personal growth. So get comfy, grab your favorite beverage, and let's embark on this journey together. Because it's time to embrace the beautiful person that you are. So let's elevate our lives one episode at a time. Now let's get started. All right, my beautiful people. Well, welcome to the Season of Self-Love podcast. I am your host, Nyomi Banks, and today we are diving into something so powerful. And it's about embracing your imperfections and the transformative power of self-acceptance. Well, this month, we are exploring the theme of cultivating self-compassion. It's a topic that resonates deeply with me because, let's face it, family self-love starts with accepting ourselves fully, flaws and all. Well, today, I am thrilled to be joined by someone we all love and trust, our resident therapist, Dr. Will Washington. Dr. Will guide us through some incredible conversations. And today he is here to help us unpack self-acceptance and how embracing our imperfections can lead to deeper self-love. But before we dive in, I got a quick reminder. Remember to download right now is free, the Year of the Rebirth workbook. It's to follow along with us this month activities and is designed to help you to reflect, grow, and practice compassion in your daily life. You can find it on the link in our show notes and on our website. Now, family, before we get into this topic and we bring Dr. Will to the stage, we got to take a quick break, right? It's your girl, Goddess Nyomi Banks here on the Season of Self-Love podcast. We'll be right back.
Washington Wellness Institute focuses on healing always. For me, if I look good, then I feel good. If I feel good, then I share the good. If I share the good, then I celebrate the good. If I celebrate the good, then I live the good. So I can be paid to be my greatest. But I have to learn the good to be the good.
So, what does it take to be the greatest? It's as simple as a free 15-minute consultation. Be kind to yourself and heal always.
Hey, it's your girl, Goddess Nyomi Banks, and make sure you tune in every Thursday night to Ask Nyomi Bridging the Gap podcast, where we talk about everything from love, sex, relationship, cultural differences, and so much more. By bridging the gap between them all. And we even talk about spiritual uplifting. You need to stop by me and Dr. Mike, as well as the BTG crew. We have some amazing guests that come through. You never know. Just make sure you tune in Thursday night, 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Go to xnaomi.com and tell them Naomi sent you. All right, my beautiful people. Well, welcome back to the Season of Self-Love podcast. We have Dr. Will Washington here. Hey.
Hey, it's so good to see you. You look great.
You too. Thank you so much. Thank you. Yeah, going out tonight. No.
I was like, where are you going? We supposed to do a podcast. I don't understand. I was like, what?
I know, that's right. So you ready for this conversation?
I am. I think the timing has been perfect for this.
Yeah.
I really do.
Beautiful, beautiful. All right, my beautiful people, but you know how we do it. Before we get into the topic at hand, we got to ground ourselves with a nice little meditation. I said medication. Meditation. Like, we can ground ourselves with that as well.
This is new. It's 2025.
All right, so right now, you all will just close your eyes for a moment. All right. Take a deep breath in through your nose and exhale slowly out your mouth. Now, as you inhale, I want you to visualize love and acceptance filling your heart. Now, with every exhale, I want you to release the need for perfection. Let go of any self-doubt or judgment. Breathe in again deeply, holding space for your imperfections. And exhale, reminding yourself that they are what make you beautiful human. One more deep breath in. Feel the warmth of self-love wrapping around you like a comforting embrace. Now exhale slowly, knowing that in this moment, that you are enough. And when you are ready, gently open your eyes and join us in this conversation. All right, my beautiful people. If you are new here to the Season of Self-Love podcast, it's something that we do every day, Monday through Friday, here on the Season of Self-Love. All right, Dr. Will, well, let's get it. Let's get it. You
I'm
ready?
excited. This is a good topic.
Yeah.
This is a really good topic.
Yeah, let's get it. All right, let's start with the basics. Taking it all the way down to the basics. Dr. Will, can you help us to understand what self-acceptance really means and why is it so crucial for cultivating self-love?
Yes. So just to keep it simple, straight from the bottom, right? It's important to understand that self-acceptance is first a realization. You're realizing the potential and the gravity of a situation. You secondly understand the impasse or the block that is occurring that's stopping you from the authenticity that you need to create that acceptance. And then lastly is taking that potential and making it useful and giving it purpose, knowing what is actually presented in front of you. And so to have self-acceptance, it really means understanding the reality, understanding the barrier, and acknowledging the potential that's needed to break through the blockages of your greatest self. That is
Mm-hmm.
the foundation of self-acceptance in the power of love.
Mm. That's powerful. Just you breaking it down like that. I don't think I've ever heard it that way. Um, why do you think that it's so many of us that struggle with self-acceptance? And, it's, society just pressures us with childhood experience and everything like that. It's something deeper. So why do you think so many struggle with it?
So many people struggle with it is because the word imperfection alone is the distortion, right? The fact is that you have to acknowledge that there is a certain level of perfection that you had an expectation of, and you are going to see what makes you not that,
Yeah.
right? And so the expectation that we have put ourselves on puts ourselves in line for being criticized, picked apart, and sometimes even ostracized for just simply being ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
And so we are trained and conditioned to live this life that is actually outside of our own power.
Mm-hmm.
And that is a really hard thing to accept and also be sensitive enough to realize that. And
Yeah.
that's big.
Yeah. I have this what I call a mirror exercise that all of my imperfection is that I thank those. I thank those imperfections because they make me who I am, my unique self. I shared with you before that, we read Change Your Paradigm, Change Your Life by Bob Proctor. And in
Mhm.
the book, he talks about us being a perfection, meaning that we always striving for perfection. When reading that, it kind of changed my notion on what perfection is because me, I'll be like I'm a recovering
Mhm. Yeah.
perfectionist. But how he explained it, he was like, God is a perfection, right? And we are made of the image of God. And so we always will be seeking or searching for that perfection. The thing is that we have to understand that our imperfection is our perfections of who we are.
Mm.
So that made me like, okay, so I'm going to continue to embrace my imperfections because they perfectly describes who I am. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And I'm so glad you said that. I was going to make a post about this actually tomorrow morning, was that people are human just like you.
Yeah.
Remember that. And a lot of times, what that is actually a challenge for you to recognize how human are you. So if you don't recognize how human you are, you're never going to accept how human others are.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
mirror is very strong.
Yeah. Let's I want to go back just a little bit. And when you talk about the human, so many things has just been happening these past few months. The
Mhm.
big fire in California.
Ugh,
That all
absolutely.
of that, a whole bunch of celebrities have
Yeah.
lost their homes and stuff like that. And when you watch and you look at social media, it felt like there was no empathy for them. There was no empathy or compassion
Yeah.
for these fellow human beings, these fellow other
Yeah.
souls. Just because you feel like a person makes more money or that they have it, that they still don't deserve our empathy and our compassion, which they
Mm.
do. Because not only did they lose something, their home, but they lost their memories.
They lost their memories.
Can
The
you
things that got them, the stories that got them to that point, right?
yeah,
Oh my gosh. Like I couldn't even imagine to know that you built something and then in minutes, nothing.
nothing, nothing. And
Yeah.
that just when I was reading those comments, I said, "Oh my God." I said, "Could you just what is happening here? Where
Yeah.
is the compassion for other people?" Like people are literally seeing. I saw this one young lady, she said, "My school burned down. The school that I graduated, grade school, high school. My neighborhood is burnt down. I have no memories. I cannot
Nothing
take my
exists.
kids back." That
Yes.
is the most devastating experience that you can possibly have. So when you talk about us all being human, yes, put that up there. I like that. I
Yeah.
do. Yeah.
Yeah. I just I always say, show me the person who has the richest tears, right?
Mm.
Who has the richest tears? And I think when we don't look into the heart of humanity and you can't see that, I'm more worried about what made you unable rather
Yeah.
than
Mm.
what they're going through. What made you unable?
Yeah. Yeah.
Because that's a choice, right? And
Mm-hmm.
so and so I just really question how we take away our power by desensitizing ourselves. You
Mm-hmm.
take your power away by desensitizing yourself. And it's so important
Yeah.
to be still in that process.
Yeah. Was it last month you had wrote that still? Was it still? It was
Yeah,
still.
yeah.
Yeah.
I understand, but slower, right? Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
phrase.
And I needed to see that day because I needed to be still for a moment, because sometimes we get in search of that perfection. I had to remind myself, this is a part of who you are in this perfection. So you have to remind yourself, be still.
Ooh, if that happened today for me. That happened today. I literally I was given information that I just did not want to hear because I was already going through a lot.
Mhm.
And I just said, you know what? I'm supposed to be angry. I'm gonna
Mhm.
have my fit. I was like, but is this really my chaos right now?
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, we're so urgent, right? We live in the urgency of others so much
Yeah.
that we actually remove our own power by living in the urgency of others.
Yes.
And it's so and it's addicting too because we're taught to just rise to the occasion, especially as healers, right?
Yes.
They expect us to rise to the occasions of their own inability.
Yes.
That cannot be me all the time.
Yes. I love that you said that because that's something that I've been working on this year, a part of my rebirth. And when I say it's been rebirthing for me, it's been rebirthing, brother. It's been rebirthing for me, but I had to honor all of my emotions. And that's even if I had to tell somebody, okay, you have to give me my moment. Give me my moment. You know, even if the phone
Mhm.
call and I don't pick up and they text me, is you okay? I just need to talk to you for a moment. You got to give me a moment. I don't know how long that moment gonna be, but it's gonna have to be a moment because I have to go through my emotions on what's happening with me.
Mm.
Because last month, Dr. Will, I always have the shows all together. We about to do this topic. We about to do
It's a charcuterie board of progress and goals and everything. It's a whole
yes,
charcuterie board. Yeah.
everything. God in the universe was like, that ain't happening. That ain't happening. Matter of fact, we about to put you through every single one of these, and you gonna talk about it on this show, so people can start applying it. And I was just like, I was doing like this, bobbing and weaving. But the thing is that I had already been prepared for it. Even with that book,
Mm.
Change Your Paradigm, Changed My Life, it helped open me up to receive a lot of things. And then I don't know if I told you that I had read the Celeste Prophecy.
Mm.
That book is amazing. That book helped me to understand a lot of things that was very like, okay, yes, I see that. Yes, I feel that. Yes, yes. And from then, it was just everybody that was aligned that was just coming around. And I was just like, okay, what is this? Okay, I feel it, I hear it, and just that was happening in everyday life. Just was awareness that was coming to me. And it was like, okay, I got it. I got it. I got it. And in that
Mm.
moment, it was like, all right, I'm writing. That's all I can do. It's like I am writing. So even, us, coming with this topic this month, I'm like this at my altar. Can I do this? Can I do this one?
You are really having a rebirth. You really are.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes.
Yeah.
In real time. In real time. I went back for AVN weekend. The very first day of the convention, I went in, I had on my jogging suit. I was trying to dress down. I was quite nervous going back because I hadn't been back into that space on the convention floor in years. But when I went back there, I had did so much healing, so much for myself that I can walk back into that space with a smile on my face. But then I understood it was part of my purpose.
Mm.
Again, talking about imperfection, talking about self compassion, self acceptance of self. At that moment, I knew exactly who I was and why I was going through my purpose. And this was a part of my purpose. The
Mm.
thing is I was getting it wrong. And I don't want to say getting it wrong. I was I was getting it wrong. I was getting it wrong. Yeah. I was limiting myself in that. I'm just gonna be honest. I was
Okay.
limiting myself
I
with
see.
certain things. So it was like, no, I was supposed to get these people out here, you that's listening right here that ain't never been in the entertainment business, just had regular old hurt and pain from whatever. No, God showed me when I walked into that space, no, baby, you supposed to be here as well. Why do you feel that you can't do this? You don't have to choose. See, I thought I had to choose.
Mm. So there's a difference between choosing and self-acceptance.
Mm-hmm.
And so that level of faith, that level of faith that you had is huge. That's
Yes,
huge.
yes,
Mm.
yes. And I tell you all the time when I go to the stores or something like that, my energy is drained when I
Yeah.
leave those spaces. No, it wasn't. It was not drained. But I knew when I walked in them doors and I was talking to these people, I said, you know what? I'm supposed to be here. I'm supposed to be here. Ask Nyomi and the Seasons of Love, supposed to be right there at that booth, doing live shows, doing right there, speaking to
Yeah.
these people, speaking to them, because when they see me, they can see I can be transformed.
Exactly.
Society will tear you down because of choices and decisions that you made when you had to make them in that moment, in that time. And some
Mm.
people don't know how to get out of that.
Yeah.
In the adult industry, even in the world, we lose a lot of people to self-harming themselves,
Yes.
suicide. depression. And it comes from, society, loved ones around them that put there on them. You know what I'm saying? And so
Mhm.
it's like, how can you, like, Nyomi, how did you get out of there? I didn't even think about, and I had to tell myself, like, you was wrong on that one. You were so pressed to be doing something else. I wasn't leaving my past behind because that's a part of my story, but I still was leaving a part of my foundation. I didn't take
Mm.
that with me. That's a part of my
Right. Right.
foundation. Because without Nyomi Banks, there wouldn't have been no Ask Nyomi. Without Ask Nyomi, there wouldn't be no
You
season of.
wouldn't never that would have never been there. Yeah.
Without any of that, I would not know you, Dr. Will. You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
So all of those things are who create and make who you are right now. And I had to like, So yes, you go in there and you look at them because they light is dim right now, but you see that light in their eyes. You see it.
Yes.
And you got to let them know that you see it.
And
Yeah.
when you remember what your fire is, you become a fire where people draw towards you because they see the fire. But the evolution is you become a torch and you hand that off to other people. And I feel like you've become a fire to big people see you, but then you've transformed into that torch that you give others. You're a light bearer. And that's amazing that you know how to pass the torch. Because some people don't have the discipline to pass the torch. They keep the torch because they're afraid what's gonna happen to my light if I give you if I give it away. Right? They know their resource because they know themselves. That is the power of self-acceptance, is that you know the light that you carry. You know the fire that you hold. You know how to warm people rather than burn them. And I think that is the type of sensitivity that we are missing in this culture right now.
Yeah.
And we need that more than ever right now.
Yeah, it is. It is. So let's talk about imperfection. Let's go back to there again.
Mm.
A lot of times imperfection could be our greatest teacher. It can. Can you share an example or a tip on how listeners can shift their perspective on what they see as a flaw?
Yeah. Yeah. Let's say a failure in a relationship, right? Let's start. We've all had relationships. So let's just start with that. You literally are two imperfect people trying to be the best thing for each other in a moment of time.
Mm-hmm.
And some people, I always say, either grow together or they grow apart. And for those that grow apart, it's hard for them to separate simply because they're like, well, we're great. We have this, we have this, we have this, but this is the issue. And you have to make a decision if that issue is going to be greater than the relationship.
Yeah.
And the imperfections that have caused that weren't the reason why you separated, is because you lack transparency, communication, understanding, grace, awareness to help those imperfections be loved. A lot of times we don't allow our imperfections to be loved because we don't know what it's like to be loved with imperfections, because we have been taught of the all or nothing mindset in relationships.
Mm,
And that's a very difficult place to be. So that's
mm,
what I mean by imperfections.
yeah.
It's learning that the things that you may fall short of are meant to be loved.
Yeah.
And do you recognize them as an imperfection? And are you strong enough to be vulnerable to receive the level of love that's needed for that space?
I love that. Thank you. I love that. I love that. So can we do this? I want to leave our listeners with some actionable steps. What are some simple ways that they can start embracing their imperfections and practicing self-acceptance today?
Yes. So I would love it's a beautiful exercise. So get your purpose paper and your purpose pen. So go get that. And I'm going to give a couple of prompts, and you're going to be able to first acknowledge the imperfections. You got to acknowledge the imperfections first. And then you want to be able to choose the correction for it, right? How can I correct this imperfection? And then put a person, place, or thing that you want to invest in to help see that process through, right?
Mm,
We always want to do things alone and isolated. No. It's companionship can change a lot in life. It's a wrong mindset when people think, oh, I gotta go away in a dark tunnel and fix myself. It's like, no, do not go in the tunnel. Reach out for help. It's okay. It's okay to be with people and heal at the same time. So the first prompt is, I love blank about myself,
Mm.
right? I love blank about myself, comma, but I have to accept that blank. So what I
Mm.
love about myself is blank, but I have to accept that blank. So what I'm hoping is with that first prompt, we're understanding that we acknowledge the strength and the perfection that you find a lot of pride in. But you also have to understand with pride, what's behind that is shame or guilt or
Mm.
fear.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But I have to accept that. And so the thing that you have to accept is our imperfection. And then what you do next is say, blank is the person, place, or thing that I need to connect with to see myself more.
Mm.
A lot of times when it comes to love, when you love somebody so much, you actually learn to love yourself more, right? That's how you know it's a really good love. And
Mm-hmm.
so what's the person, place, or thing you need to do to make sure you love yourself more while you're doing it?
Mm. I
So
like
that's the
it.
first prompt, right?
Yes.
And then the second prompt is, write a list of 5 imperfections that you have. So just write 5 imperfections. If you had one resource that could remove those imperfections, what would that resource be?
Mm.
And then ask yourself, is this resource truly enough? And what is the process to restart this resource? A lot of times in my healing modality, my principle 2 is, any unmet needs result in irrational behaviors. And a lot of times when you lack a resource, you become the irrational behavior of the missing resource.
Mm.
So I often wonder when I see somebody acting out or doing something that's kind of like outside of the normal behavior, I
Right.
always wonder what
What's
resource they're missing to not
mm.
feel okay with themselves.
Mm-hmm.
So what's the resource that you need, and what's the process in order to build that process? So
Mm.
give yourself the routine to build the resource, and your imperfections will indirectly be adjusted without you even having to focus on and harp on the actual issue. A lot of times we focus on the problem and don't live through the solution,
Right.
right?
Right. Thank you for that, Dr. Will. Thank you. All right, listeners, listen. You know, I give homework. He gives. What do you call it?
I call them quests. I don't like the
Yeah.
grade, so I like
Yeah.
quests. We
He
want
call
money.
them quests. He call them quests. So what I want you to do right now, if you are listening and you have done the work or you have wrote it down, I want you to put a hat on when you're on social media, hashtag Mindset Mondays, hashtag Mindset Mondays, as well as hashtag tips from Dr. Will. Hashtag tips from Dr. Will. All right.
I got a hashtag now. Ooh, I'm
Yeah.
special. Oh, I
It's
gotta follow. I can't wait to follow that. Ooh, I'm
on
excited. Get to follow hashtag. That's great. Oh, this is exciting.
Yes. All right, my beautiful people. We're family. Today's conversation has been so rich and inspiring. Let's take a moment to reflect on what we've learned. You know, Dr. Will has shared some incredible insights about the importance of embracing imperfections and how they can lead personal growth and deeper self. And I want to encourage you to take some time this week to reflect on your own imperfection. Dr. Will just gave you 2 powerful prompts, and also use our workbook journal about them. Try to reframing the exercises that Dr. Will shared, and remember that you are not alone in this journey. Remember, he talked about the companion. It's all right to do that. It is so all right to do
Mhm.
that. Well, Dr. Will, as always, thank you for sharing this day with us today.
Of course, of course.
Your wisdom, always a blessing to have you here. You have any last words for our listeners?
Yes, be kind to yourself and heal always.
I know that's right. I know that's right. All right, my beautiful people. Don't forget to download the Year of the Rebirth workbook. Just dive deeper into this month theme, and you can find a link in our show notes again. And if today's episode resonated with you, Share your thoughts on social media, again, with using hashtag Season of Self-Love, hashtag Mindset Mondays, and hashtag Tips from Dr. Will. All right, we love hearing from you and just celebrating your growth. And I see y'all tomorrow. Have a good one. Thank you for joining us on this journey of discovering and empowerment here at the Season of Self-Love podcast. Remember, embracing self-love is a continuous journey, and we're so glad to have you with us. So if you enjoyed today's episode, please leave us a review. And don't forget to join our community on Facebook at Season of Self-Love. Connect with like-minded individuals who are also on their self-love journey. Now, if you have any questions or topics that you'd like for us to explore, we love to hear from you. Email us at seasonofselflove@gmail.com and let your voice be heard. So until next time, take a moment for yourself today and remember, you are worthy of love, joy, and all the beautiful things that life has to offer.